Hello, Michiko. It is Saturday morning and I'm here in Waterloo. I'll turn this around a little so you can see this is the quad area at Waterloo University. This is a place where I have walked through pretty much every day that I've been in Waterloo the past 2 years. So I figured that I'd film here, and I kind of want to try and film the place every day. Just to see how that goes. So, your video, thank you for it, and it, along with another video that I watched yesterday, have kind of had my mind spinning intellectually. It's been a really weird experience to be thinking about what being a superhero means in today's day and age, and what apocalyptic fiction means today, and how those two things are related. Because I think that you gave a really good summary of the problems with current apocalyptic fiction. That it's less what it would be like if the world were to suddenly fall apart, and more just reimagining what it would be like if white people were in the same situation that people of color have been in over the past 150 years to different degrees. A friend of mine has recently been doing a lot of work looking at Afrofuturism, and listening to what he's been saying has been really interesting. But I will put a pause on that for a second. My name's Mint, for those of you who aren't Michiko, and my pronouns are they and them, and in talking about spirituality, I would say that my biggest moment of just kind of understanding my spiritual journey was when I was in Coburg with you, Michiko, a few weekends ago for conference. I have definitely felt a distinct call over the past 2 years to the ministry, but that weekend, at the end of the first night, I can just remember lying down, have my head on my pillow, and just being like, I really want to be a minister, with this big stupid smile on my face. And part of it was definitely related to what you were talking about when it comes to hope. We had just finished a Vespers with all of the youth there, and I remember telling you that I used to be the cynic in that group. When I was a youth, I would sit there and hear all these kids talking about, oh, world peace and blah, blah, blah. But now that gives me immense hope. Now that makes me feel as though we actually have a chance at getting through all of this. And that's that moment of just of fully realizing the transference from cynicism to hope was really, really powerful for me. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was related to a second video that I watched a couple days ago. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is called PBS Idea Channel, and it's similar to what we're trying to do here in terms of cultural analysis, except they have funding, so the production value is a lot better. And he was talking about what superhero means in today's culture with just the immense amount of movies that we're getting. And he talked about it in terms of the great man theory of history, and how superheroes have changed from pre-World War II to today. And that generally during times of American war, American superheroes are less like the defenders of the oppressed and the changers of the status quo to the defenders of the status quo. And I kind of wanted to reflect on that and how it relates to what you were talking about when it comes to the apocalypse in media. We kind of hope that there's going to be someone there to save the day when everything goes wrong. But that also is predicated on the assumption that everything is going to go wrong. And I think that's where our faith can really come in and get us to take a step back and listen to the world. That God is there. And this is what I mean by talking about God enthusiastically. It's talking about God in a way that secular minds, maybe, who knows, maybe they won't understand it, but in a way that generally we might be fearful of that being offended by, or them thinking we're crazy by. But that God is there, that God in creation has given us a world that is inherently good, and that things aren't going to all go wrong at once, and we're never going to need one person to come in and save everything at once. It's a slower, more evolving process than that, and that our heroes have to be the ones who are willing to engage in processes, maybe not the systems that already exist, but engage in processes to change those systems and to overthrow those systems. That it's not going to be, or to put it more bluntly, that Martin Luther King Jr. was only able to do what he was able to do because the world was in need of change. Our world is in need of certain things to change, and we need to be able to identify what those things are and then act to change them, instead of thinking that one day everything's going to go wrong and we're going to have some great man come and save us, which is kind of what a lot of superhero films talk about. We've been getting some better ones lately, Captain America 2 being a really good example, but looking at the second Thor movie, the Avengers movie, the third Dark Knight film, they all espouse this very, it's like, everything's going to go wrong at one point and someone's going to need to come in and fix it, which I think is a little misguided and that our faith can really speak to. I hope that made sense, and here I am from Laurier, and I'll talk to you later.